Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming tonight. I'm the moderator this evening, Joe Sin. I'm the president of Concerned Citizens. If you would, please stand with me and join as we say the pledges to the flags. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. If you would join with me in a word of prayer. Our Secretary Elizabeth Roden Carroll.
Please bow. Heavenly Father, we thank you for assembling us here tonight. We praise you for the wonderful country and the community in which we live. We ask for your blessings upon this event and that each person takes away the knowledge that they need to vote for the right candidate who will have the wisdom and the discernment to lead our country, our community, and our county in the right direction. We pray that in all things, especially this event, you would be glorified. Forgive us of our sins and thank you for our first responders and the soldiers fighting abroad. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. On behalf of myself, I am the president of Concerned Citizens, our vice president, Mr. Jack Armstrong, our secretary, Elizabeth Roden Carroll, and our treasurer, Rhonda Binkin. We'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight. We hope that you have an enjoyable, informative evening. As you know, this is our candidate forum. We will be hearing from each of the candidates running in the Precinct 4 area who have answered our call to come and speak tonight. Each candidate will be given 5 minutes to speak. And before I get too much into the rules, I just want to give everyone a reminder to please come and join us in our regular monthly meetings. We meet at the Tullis Library right around the corner the first Monday of the month at 6:30 p.m. We try to have a very informative, very good speaker every time we meet. We also have some good snacks that you may have tried some of this evening. And we just have a good time. So get a chance, come on out and join us. I guarantee you'll at least get to say hello to a few people, if nothing else. As far as the rules for this evening, each candidate will be given 5 minutes. We're not going to have questions and answers because if we do, it's going to take away from their time to speak. When we call each group up, we ask that you hold your applause. Hold your applause when we call their name. Wait until after a candidate speaks before you applaud. If you applaud before they get up here to open their mouth, their time's already started and they're just going to lose time and you're going to miss some of what they want to say. Our Vice President, Jack Armstrong, is going to be timing the event this evening. When the candidate gets down to where he has 2 minutes left, Jack will announce 2 minutes, and at 1 minute, he'll announce 1 minute. If he speaks beyond the 5 minutes, Jack and I together will tackle him and take the microphone away. Not really, but yeah. So you got 5 minutes to speak. Wow, that's about all I had to say on that. So yeah, if your cell phone's on and you got some weird ringtone or even really any loud ringtone, please turn it down if you don't mind right quick. And thank you, Commissioner. I'm going to do the same thing. Because my boss will call me in the middle of a meeting. Oh, he's here. Never mind. Dr. Ray's good about giving me a ring every time I start talking. Well, we are going to start this evening with our first 2 candidates. We chose the candidates in order that they appear on the ballot. They will be speaking in that order. Candidates, as we call your group up, if you would just come up and have a seat here center stage. And then when it's your turn, you'll get the mic and then the next person can go. Our first group this evening will be the candidates running for the 284th Judicial District Judge. And one thing I didn't cover, we asked that all the candidates, and I know that this is something we got to say, please keep it clean. Don't talk bad about the other candidates. Just tell us why you are the best candidate. And this evening, speaking first will be Ms. Kristen Vincent.
Thank you so much. So my name is Kristen Vincent. I'm running for judge of the 284th District Court, and if you elect me to this position, let me promise you all these things that I will not be doing for you. I will not reduce your taxes. I will not take care of building your roads. I won't take care of having any kind of drainage plan. Because being a judge is part of the non-political branch of government. I don't get to stand here and tell you that if you vote for me, I can change your life. Unless you show up in this court. At the point in time where you find your way into the 284th District Court, it becomes critically important to see who the judge is. And really the thing that you need to look for is you want somebody with the experience, the knowledge, a legal scholar related to the work that the court does. So the 284th District Court handles civil cases. So if you get sued, or if you know someone who needs some suing, you're very likely to land in this court. You need a judge who's got the experience with civil litigation, and I do. That's what I studied at the Baylor Law School. I was named editor-in-chief of the Law Review. I graduated summa cum laude. And that's been the area of my expertise as a practicing attorney for more than 24 years. But what you also want is somebody who has an eye on their community. Someone who's a part of this community. Now, Ms. Windsor can tell you that she was born and raised in Montgomery County, and she's got me there. I was born and raised in Lubbock, and that should give me the sympathy vote. When I graduated from high school, I went to Baylor University, and then I went to the Baylor Law School, which means I did 7 years of hard time in Waco. So if the Lubbock thing didn't get me the sympathy vote, surely that does. I graduated from law school. I got a job in Houston. I went and lived there for a little while. It did not take long for me to think, no. So I got a job in Montgomery County. I moved here in 1995, and I have never looked back. This is the place where I met and married my husband, 21 years. This is where I've had and raised my children, and this is where I've worked, where I've represented people in this community, at the courthouse, in this county. This is what I've done. I've never worked in another county. I've never turned away. I've always been here. It's because of that community involvement, it's because of that legal expertise that I've gotten a lot of endorsements in this race. Some names that you might recognize, like retired Sheriff Joe Corley, like Constable Ryan Gable. And there's one name that might be vaguely familiar to you all. A guy named Ed Reinhardt. Are you in the audience? Well, he was outside earlier, so perhaps he's gone on to bigger and better things. But Ed Reinhardt has endorsed me because he knows me. He knows that I've been part of this community. And point in fact, I live in Precinct 4. He's seen the work that I've done for people in East County. He's seen the work that I've done for people in Montgomery County as a whole. He knows that the work that I did with Judge Claudia Laird at County Court of Law No. 2 was a real benefit to some of the most vulnerable people in our community. And he knows that I'm a civil litigator. And what this court needs is someone with that civil litigation experience to handle this civil litigation court. So Ed Reinhardt has endorsed me, and I hope that you will too. Now, I've got to tell you that if you're tuned into Facebook, you might have heard that in actuality I have fewer than 10 trials under my belt. And I'll tell you that when I heard that, that really hit me where I live. I really pride myself on being a civil trial attorney. That's how I define myself. That's what I do. So I certainly was taken aback to learn that I had far fewer trials, as was my mom. But that got the Conroe Courier involved, and I would encourage you to take a look at the article that they published last Wednesday, February 7th. They did their own independent investigation to find out just how much experience I had, and they reported correctly from all the documents they looked at. I've handled more than 700 civil cases. More than 80 of them have made their way to trial. More than 30 of them have gone through the appeal system, including to the Texas Supreme Court. This is what I do. That experience matters to you, and I know it's not overly interesting. But if you found your way to the 284th District Court, suddenly it becomes all important. That's sort of the nature of running to be judge. I can't change your life unless you land in the court, and then I have the power to do just that. You've got to pick the right person. And I'm the right fit for this court. So says Supreme Court Justice Scott Brister, who remarked Kristen Vincent was one of the best civil advocates I saw in my years on the Supreme Court. Her intelligence, demeanor, and grace under pressure make her an ideal candidate for judge. We need ideal candidates. to become great judges for Montgomery County. That's my mission, and I'm asking you to stand with me by voting for Kristen Vincent. Thank you for being here this evening. Hi, my name is Joanne Windsor, and I'm running for judge of the 284th District Court. It's been my privilege to serve you, the citizens of this state and this county, throughout my legal career. And I am from Montgomery County, and I'm proud to be from Montgomery County. I'm also excited to be here tonight, specifically in New Caney High School, where my brother-in-law was the principal back in 2005, John Yonker. And so it's pretty exciting to be here speaking where he was the principal. I'm running for judge of the 284th, and what does the judge of the 284th do? Well, as you've just heard, the 284th District Court handles civil cases. It gives preference to civil cases, and that's important because there are over 1,900 civil cases pending in that court. So what you need is a judge who can handle that courtroom and run that court efficiently. And that means you do need somebody with significant trial experience and someone who's had a lot of experience in a courtroom. I've had that experience. I have tried over 100 jury trials. Now, why is that important? Well, it's important because those 1,900 cases are pending. And a case doesn't always mean a trial. A case is filed, and that is because parties are in dispute over some matter. And they need to work that out. If the lawyers and the people in the courtroom, and the clients, I'm sorry, can work those cases out, then those cases go away. The ones that remain go to trial. And that's where the judge does the majority of their work, handling those trials. I've tried over 100 jury trials. I've applied the rules of evidence, which are the same in civil and criminal, in over 100 cases. Now, my opponent brought up the fact that it's been said that she has less than 10 jury trials. In order to better understand her experience, I went to the clerk's offices in Harris County and Montgomery County and requested records to see what that experience was. And when I reviewed those records, what I found was that my opponent has less than 10 jury trials. Now, a jury trial is an appellate trial. It's not an appellate issue. It's a trial where you pick a jury and you put on evidence in front of a court. I had lawyers in other offices, and I had a law firm review those records too, just to make sure that I didn't have it wrong. I didn't make anything up. I haven't manipulated anything. Those records are available if you'd like to go online and look for yourself. Now, what other experience do I have? Well, I'm the only candidate that's board certified, and less than 8% of the lawyers in the state of Texas are board certified. I'm part of that elite group. In addition, I was acknowledged and recognized as one of the best trial lawyers in the state of Texas by the District and County Attorneys Associations last year. That means that lawyers from across the state of Texas voted and determined that I was a good trial lawyer, and they recognized me for my dedication in teaching other lawyers how to try cases. I've done that for over 10 years. I've taught at the Baylor Law School in their advanced criminal law seminar, and I've also taught in Austin twice a year for the last 10 years. So I understand how to try a case, and that experience is very helpful as the judge, because when it comes to game time decisions, you need someone who can make those. In addition, I have had the opportunity to be in courtrooms across the state of Texas in federal and state courts. And I've learned from those judges what to do and sometimes what not to do. I've learned from the judges and their staffs how to run an efficient and effective courtroom. And I'm ready to take that experience and apply it as the judge of the 284th District Court. In addition, I've been acknowledged or endorsed by one of the most well-respected organizations in the county, the Men and Women in Blue. The Montgomery County Law Enforcement Association trusts me to be the judge of the 284th District Court. I'm proud of my experience, and I'm ready to serve. And I hope that you would trust me too, to be the judge of the 284th. If you'd like to learn more about me, go to my Facebook page or my website, both are the same, Joe from Moco. And I hope to earn your trust and your vote for judge of the 284th District Court. I'm Joanne Windsor. Thank you.
thing I failed to mention earlier is this election, as you know, is the March primaries. Republicans are running against Republicans, Democrats are running against Democrats. For this forum, we did invite both sides, the Republicans and the Democrats. So you will tonight hear from Republican challengers and Democrat challengers. They are not running against each other during the primary, but if they are victorious, they will run against each other later. So it's important that whichever side you're voting on, you hear from everybody. So the next race that we will hear from this evening is the district clerk. And the two candidates who came tonight are Cynthia Jamison and Melissa Miller. The Democrat candidate, John Brandon Pierre, was here earlier. Unfortunately, he had a family emergency and had to leave.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cynthia Jamison, and I want to be the next district clerk. I grew up in Montgomery County. I graduated from Willis High School, and I went to the University of Houston, and I have my degree in communications and public relations. I've been married to my husband for 6 years, and we have 2 children, ages 4 and 2. So, for the past 10 years, I've worked for the citizens of Montgomery County in several aspects of county government. I started working for the county as the administrative assistant to Commissioner Precinct 3. After about 4 years, I moved to the Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management as the administrative assistant. After 6 months, I was promoted to the Community Preparedness Planner, and then 2 short years later, I was promoted again to the Homeland Security Planner. I am now the Homeland Security Planner and the Public Information Officer. In my years as administrative assistant, I learned how to process payroll, and I know the purchasing and budgeting procedures. In my current position, I collaborate with our regional partners to write and train on emergency operations plans. My training and experience in crisis management has allowed me to hone my leadership and management skills. Most notable, during the recent disasters, I was part of the team that managed resources and the safety of thousands of citizens. I decided to run for district clerk because I see the potential to modernize this office. My first priorities will be to improve online usability and streamline processes and procedures, review the budget and see where I can cut costs to save taxpayer dollars. And I think it's important to collaborate and communicate with the staff, judges, and other departments that work closely with the district clerk's office to better streamline operations and give better customer service. I will be dedicated to go above and beyond status quo to exceed expectations. My endorsements include the current district clerk, Barbara Adamick, the Harris County district clerk, Chris Daniel, Commissioner Mike Metter, retired Commissioner Ed Chance, and retired Emergency Management Coordinator Nikki Kelly. In closing, the district clerk's office is a fundamental part of our court system. For some people, this will be the only contact they have with Montgomery County, and it should run smoothly and offer the best customer service. I intend to change the reputation of this office and make it better. Now, I do not negate that I have a learning curve if I go into this office. But I haven't gotten where I am today by being mediocre. I have proven myself to be a quick study, and I have proven myself to be able to, I've proven myself to be a quick study and to work in high-stress situations. I also have the skills to work with many different personalities to achieve the goals at hand. Given the size of the department, this is necessary to maintain a cohesive work environment. Because of Barbara Adamick's retirement, change is guaranteed. Let's make it a positive one. I ask for your vote. If you need more information on me, you can look on my website, cynthiajamison.com. Cynthia Jamison for District Clerk. Thank you very much.
morning. My name is Melissa Miller, and I'm running for district clerk. I want to first tell you a little bit about myself personally. I'm a resident of Precinct 4 since 1984. We live in a small community called Security. I'm married to Jason Miller. We will be celebrating our 20th anniversary this April. We have 2 children, ages 17 and 8. We attend Security First Baptist Church. I am a Republican, and I'm involved in the Republican Party. I've attended precinct conventions, Senate District 4 conventions, and been a delegate to the state convention, along with being involved in the various Republican women's groups throughout the county. What makes me qualified to be your next district clerk? I have 19 years of experience in the district clerk's office. Currently, I work for our county clerk, Mark Turnbull. I began working for the district clerk's office in May of 1998 in the criminal division. I worked my way up through the various divisions, taking every opportunity I had to learn as much as I could about the district clerk's office and prepare me to run for office. I have the experience and the knowledge to make the office stronger and more efficient. I am not here on a whim. I am here and I'm running for office because I am passionate about this office and I am committed to serving you, the taxpayers of Montgomery County. I am ready to take the leadership role and move this office into the future. I hope I have earned your support and your vote, and I look forward to serving as your next district clerk. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. The next office we're going to hear from this evening is County Clerk, Miss Jeannie Stewart, and the current County Clerk, Mark Turnbull.
So glad that all of y'all could come out tonight. It's awfully cold and damp out there, but I'm glad y'all could be here to really take the opportunity to learn about the candidates here in Montgomery County. There's a lot of great choices and unfortunately a lot of misinformation out there. So, but anyway, my name is Jeannie Stewart and I'm a Republican candidate for County Clerk. I was born and raised here in Montgomery County. I graduated from Conroe High School. I grew up in Willis. Actually, I'm on a little small farm outside of Willis. I'm married and I have 2 teenage boys, a sophomore and a senior in high school. They attend Willis High School. I'm a strong Christian woman. I have strong Christian values and I have a heart to serve you. I also have a bachelor's degree in business administration with a minor in public administration and a minor in human resources. I owned my own business for 12 years prior to working for Montgomery County, which I have done for the past 10 years. I started in the auto theft department under Sheriff Gage, and in 2008. And a few years after that, I worked there for 4 years, and I promoted up to Chief McDaniel's assistant. And I did that for a couple of years and then went to work for Commissioner Nowak in Precinct 3 as his office manager. I then promoted up to the director and administrative manager of the community center in the Woodlands. So I managed the 4 community centers and the senior center in the Woodlands. So I have over 20 years of management experience. Why did I decide to run for county clerk? Well, for one thing, I felt led to run. I believe that we need a change in Montgomery County. We need a change in this office. Fresh ideas and new leadership. And I believe that with my education and my experience, I'm the right person for the job. Customer service is very important to me. My goal is to improve the customer service with the public and with all the offices doing business with the county clerk's office. I will be an active and effective leader in the office and in the community. And I also want the input of the residents of Montgomery County. I will have an open door policy and I look forward to hearing your thoughts and ideas. I am organized, efficient, and trustworthy. I truly care about this county and the people here. You are my neighbors, my friends, and my family, and I'm here to serve you. Help me make a difference in Montgomery County, and vote I Dream of Jeannie Stewart for County Clerk.
I can't touch that tagline, I Dream of Jeannie thing. I've tried to come up with something, but just nothing like this. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Turnbull. I've been your county clerk for 23 years. I graduated from Conroe High School in 1975 and University of Houston in 1979 with a business degree. I've been active in the party, and this is a Republican primary we're talking about, for many, many years. I was the treasurer from 1987 to 2008. I was a national convention delegate in 1992 as an alternate. I've been to the state convention and the senatorial conventions more than a dozen times. I was a precinct chairman and an election judge for many years. Done all this working side by side with Dr. Wilkerson for over 35 years. I was first elected county clerk in '94 with 54% of the vote. I was unopposed until 2006, but was re-elected with 78% of the vote. The imaging of documents began in Montgomery County with the deed records in 1992 with my predecessor, Mr. Harris. Today it's been extended to all record sets, including birth, death, marriage, and the courts. Records are available on the internet. You can research and you can print them for free. In the deed record set, for example, we've done all the data entry and scanned all the documents back to 1838. That means if you have family history, you've been here a long time in East Montgomery County, you can go online and search back. I mean, the county was created in 1837, so I mean, we're back to dirt as far as records are concerned in this county being available on the internet. But this process in digitizing records has produced efficiencies so that even with 57% increase in the volume of filings in the office, staffing has only grown from 35 to 36 and a half in that time frame. That's 1.5 people over the period of the 23 years where we're at right now. The fees that we earn exceed the expenditures by $1 million, with the surplus benefiting the general fund. We're in the process of constructing an archive building and data center funded entirely from our records management fee to protect the county's permanent paper records and digital records as well. Because of my fiscal record, Judge Sadler asked me to review the collections department budget for waste. What I uncovered in short order was criminal misuse of county resources. I took over for the director after she was charged and pled guilty. Since then, the staff has been cut in half, the budget has been reduced by $225,000, and collection rates are up. These accomplishments, I think, highlight my management abilities and that I have the education, the expertise in technology, and the experience to do this job. I've done it efficiently in the past, and I will continue to do so in the future. So I would ask for your vote on March 6th, and we appreciate any support that you might be able to lend. And if you have any other requests or information, you might look at the website on turnbull4clerk.com for additional information and more details. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
The next race we will hear from is Commissioner, Precinct 4. We will be hearing from Commissioner Jim Clark, Mr. Bob Bagley, and Judge James Metz. Are you guys able to hear the speakers okay out there?
Yes.
All right. Let's get Joe straight there. I'm not running for treasurer, so. Good evening. I'm Commissioner Jim Clark, your current commissioner, and thank you all for coming out tonight and taking the time to be informed and listen a little bit about what I've got to say. I'd like to talk a little bit about some things that we've got done since I've been commissioner. We've paved more roads with the same asphalt budget by eliminating subcontractors and doing the work ourselves. We paved 20 miles of road last year, and we intend on doing at least that and maybe more this year. Led the charge and obtained a 20% homestead exemption, along with the help of the rest of the commissioners. Thank you, Commissioner Riley, for supporting that, put more money back in the pockets of the citizens and taxpayers. I voted every time for local law enforcement, first responders to receive boots on the ground and the personnel they need to be able to successfully protect the citizens of Montgomery County. We've given back dignity and respect to our seniors and veterans with programs to help them daily. One of my first accomplishments as commissioner was to help set up the Veteran Service Office located in East Montgomery County. I believe that the youth is the future of our community, and I've supported and sponsored many youth activities since day one, and I'll continue to do so, along with improving the parks and fairgrounds. I ask that all non-law enforcement departments tighten their belts and cut their spending and work together to achieve a 5.5% reduction in our county budget. That hadn't been done in a long time. We tightened up and cut the budget back. And I'm sure if y'all read the newspaper and Facebook, you know that I voted against toll roads, and I'll continue to vote against toll roads, and I'll be talking about removing the toll off the 242 flyovers tomorrow. Hopefully we can get something done with that. And I've always voted against wasteful spending. Lastly, I've always retained complete transparency in my first term as commissioner. This will be something I'm especially proud of, because the idea of the government does not answer to the people. We answer to you, and I work for you. You're my boss, and I'm listening to you, and I'm trying to do the best job I can for you. I wasn't elected to a popularity contest. I was elected to provide a real solution and challenges we face, and that's exactly what I've done. I'm not afraid. I've not been swayed. I've not deterred from my mission. I'm about results, not rhetoric, and when I'm re-elected to serve the people of East Montgomery County, they can rest assured I will continue to fight for the betterment of our great county, to overcome the challenges that lie ahead, and continue to represent the voice of the people. I'm Jim Clark, your County Commissioner for Precinct 4. I'm asking for your continued support. I'm asking for your vote in this very important upcoming election. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Bob Backlund. I'm currently serving on the board for Montgomery County Hospital District. My term will end in December. When I ran, I promised that I would only run for 2 terms. Those 2 terms will be done, and I will quit. I'm seeking to be your county commissioner for a number of reasons, but I've got a history that led me to get to where I am today. I came here when I retired from the Air Force in '97. I've been involved in politics in Colorado Springs. I was the campaign manager for Pat Buchanan when he was running for president in '96, and also for a state senator there at the same time. My kids had had enough. I was a single dad. I had 3 daughters, and they'd had enough with me in politics. I'd also been leading the charge in Colorado with the Right to Life movement and the Second Amendment movement that we were doing there. We got here, 6 months was all I could take, and I decided I had to get back involved in politics again. It gets in your blood. While I served in the Air Force, I served as a security policeman. I also served with Colorado Mounted Rangers, which was a volunteer organization under the governor of the state of Colorado. My primary function, my primary duty in the Air Force started off in law enforcement, and then I moved to emergency management. And along with emergency management, there's lots, for those that don't know about the military, there's lots of additional duties that you get. But one of the other duties I had was the hazmat instructor and responder, to include hazmat specialists. I also taught chemical warfare in BC, nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare, and traveled throughout the world doing so. I also put on exercises throughout the world. The biggest part of what I did, though, was in planning and emergency planning. And that's the thing that I've seen the least of here in this county. In the 20 years that I've lived here, I've never seen a comprehensive mobility plan for this county. I have never seen a comprehensive water drainage plan in this county. Because of that, people are losing their homes. They have problems on their roads. And these are taxpayers that aren't getting treated properly. And that's our primary function. Roads, bridges, security. Making sure that our people are safe. If they're not safe to be in their home because of flooding, if they're not safe to be in their neighborhood because the streets aren't taken care of, or there's commercial vehicles that are coming up and falling over, then we're not doing our jobs. And it's my intention to be the voice of the people in Montgomery County, and specifically East County. I want the division to stop. This is a county. This is Montgomery County, the fastest growing county in the nation. And we're not working together as a county. We still compartmentalize everything that we do, and I think we need to come together. Precinct 3 did a great mobility plan and a traffic study, but the rest of the county didn't get in on it, and we should have, because we lost money for roads that we could have had from the state. I want us to solve that. I want us to work together, to be able to work with the commissioner from Precinct 2, to be able to work with the commissioner with Precinct 3 and Precinct 1, and with the county judge, to be able to make Montgomery County not just the fastest growing county in the state, but the best county to live in for the people in Montgomery County. I'm Bob Bagley. I ask for your vote. You can check me out on Facebook or check out my webpage. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm James Metz, and with good Lord's approval and yours, I'd like to serve as the next. I currently serve as your Justice of the Peace and have done so for the past 15 years. 16 years ago, I stood in this very spot and made promises to you that you'd trust me with your vote that I would do. I have done that and more with honor and integrity. It's been a pleasure to serve as Justice of the Peace. When we walked in the doors in January of 2003, the office was rife with problems. We immediately started identifying those problems, plotting solutions, and then following through with those solutions. Attendance levels were at 90% in our schools here locally. We worked hard. With not only myself, but also Constable Hayden and others, we put programs in place to bring those levels up to 96 and 97% respectively in Splendora and New Caney schools with a target mark of 95. It's not so much a problem now because of the current banking situation with debit cards and the way things are paid for, but hot checks were a bad problem back then. It was just about bankrupting small mom and pop operation. We worked hard. We returned over $600,000 to date with the help of Miss Hayden in the hot check department at that office and helping them recover that. Something else that I consider the most important job is the Justice of the Peace or inquest, doing death investigations along with law enforcement. It was horrible then. Sometimes bodies would lay there for 4 hours before the judge would arrive. That was unacceptable. I witnessed that myself. I immediately went to work and working with law enforcement, and we got on scenes in a timely manner, did a thorough investigation, and cleared those up to be able to get fire departments and EMS back in service on the streets where they needed to be. I want to bring those accomplishments that we made in the Justice of the Peace office, I want to bring that to the Commissioner's office. I have extensive experience in operating and owning and maintaining heavy equipment for 40 years. I have the experience to operate it. I have the experience in purchases and the life of equipment and the maintenance of it. I also have extensive experience in hurricane and natural disasters, having worked storms all over the South, from here to Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, carrying as many as 20 people, 30 people and 20 pieces of equipment to those areas. It's a pretty serious logistics problem. We accomplished those and did help those people recover. And the latest efforts were here during Hurricane Harvey, where we were out doing search and rescues along with Constable Hayden and the Sheriff's Department and others. And then following up behind that with recovery efforts. Prior to that, you see that we used our own equipment and personnel to repair bridges for our disabled veterans and others. You've also seen that during Hurricane Harvey, when the floods were so bad in Patton Village, we were down there helping them repair their roadways at no expense to them. I have the experience to take care of those matters and to be a leader. It has been an extreme honor and a privilege to serve as your Justice of Peace. Also, we have tremendous mobility problems here, ladies and gentlemen. I've been a strong supporter of law enforcement, but if law enforcement can't get to you in your time of need, then you've got a real problem. Our roads are deteriorating daily. Water is the worst enemy a roadway can have. You need to get the water off the surface of the roadway and get it into the ditch to where it can move along in a timely manner to get to its final destination out in the ocean. I have experience in building roads, operating and maintaining ditches and dredging. I've proven that already. You can count on me to honor my word. I honored my commitments here for the past 15 years. You can count on me to honor those as your commissioner. You trusted me, ladies and gentlemen, as your Justice of the Peace for all this time. Trust me as your commissioner. You can count on me to do what I say. I've done it then, and I'll do it again. Put me in your commissioner's office, and I will be your champion. Thank you, and God bless you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, gentlemen. The next race that we'll hear from this evening is the County Treasurer, Ms. Melanie Bush, and the current Treasurer, Ms. Stephanie Devin. I want to thank the elected officials that came out tonight. Although many of them aren't speaking, I see several people here. The County Attorney, J.D. Lambright, thank you for coming, sir. County Commissioner. County Commissioner Charlie Riley, I'm sorry, Mr. Riley. Retired Sheriff Tommy Gage, thank you. Sheriff Randy Henderson, thank you for being here. And I'll continue in a moment.
Thank you all for being here to meet each and one of us, to learn more about why you should vote for each of us. I appreciate the opportunity to give you 3 reasons why I am the best person for County Treasurer. Most of you don't know about me, but I was raised by a single mother, and in the early years, she really had a hard time providing for us. One of the things she instilled in me was that education wasn't something to be taken for granted. You see, education is something no one can ever take away from you. My mom wasn't able to complete her college degree because she got pregnant with me. So going to college after that really wasn't an option in our house. It was an expectation for me. But so was hard work, because that's how my mom continued to progress her life. So I worked my way through Southern Methodist University in 4 years with 3 degrees, including one in economics. One of the other things she instilled in me was to never settle for less than your own personal best. That's why I was driven to start my own bookkeeping business while I was a junior in college. That business has grown and transformed over the years. My team is currently triple the size of the treasurer's office. And through my 20+ years in bookkeeping, I've had the accounting experience with hundreds of businesses that's positioned me to reform this office, run it like a business. We need to constantly be innovating, like successful businesses do. Constantly looking for ways to modernize and make lean processes, streamline things. In helping our clients, that's what I've done. I put in the hard work, I put in the time to accomplish that. 20-year-old software system and many manual and duplicitous processes are not in the best interest of you, the taxpayers. Third item she instilled in me was independence. My mom is fiercely independent, sometimes to a fault. Through her, I learned how to balance that independence with integrity and openness. Being transparent is at the core of who I am. What you see is what you get, whether behind closed doors or standing here in front of you. I owe no one anything except for you, the voters. I owe you doing the right thing no matter what. Montgomery County should be at the forefront of transparency. We should be leading the state with openness with our transactions and with you, the voters. You're the ones footing the bill for the government. So why is it that the most liberal county in this state is more transparent than Montgomery County? Travis County is much more transparent with their fiscal responsibilities and with their transactions. And that should not be the case. That transparency is what I've brought to Conroe ISD, serving on the board as president of our 61,500 students and over 7,000 employees. I'm proud to have fought for reappraisals of our Harvey-impacted taxpayers while respecting my board members when they needed a little more time to come to that same conclusion. Public support from the last County Treasurer, Martha Gustafson, and others, or endorsements from Texas Right to Life are all well and good. But truly, no one should tell you how to vote. Only your own conscience. That's how I operate, and I hope that at the end of the day on March 6th, you will have decided that I'm the best person to represent the taxpayers in the County Treasurer's office. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming out tonight. My name is Stephanie Davenport, and I am your Montgomery County Treasurer. I can tell you today that you have $489,640,323.97 all safely deposited and invested. All your county bills are paid, and all your county employees are paid. I've said it before that when you're in the public eye, you're not just being watched to see if you're doing it right, you're being watched to show others how to do it right. That's what leadership is. When I took office in 2013, I said I wanted to increase production in our department, and I have. Following local government code, I have restored the faith in the office of County Treasurer and brought over all duties that should be performed in our office. We are now a year-round resource for Montgomery County government. I said I wanted to evaluate workloads and look for ways to reduce my budget, and I have. We do more with less. We do more for less. I told the Commissioners Court I would pay close attention to our investment portfolio, and I have. Last year, under my management, we exceeded the projected investment revenue by $2.5 million. In these market conditions, and with our conservative investment policy, it makes it hard to achieve a healthy rate of return, but we have. The leadership of this county has earned a AAA bond rating. Only a handful of counties in the state have achieved this. If you've had to go through the process, you know it's a grueling process. But our books and our financial reports are pristine and aided in the upgrade of our bond rating. In 2015, in a joint effort with the State Controller's Office, I held the most successful unclaimed funds event in the history of the state of Texas, returning $3 million to Montgomery County citizens. I've led a search committee for a new finance system. We're looking forward to the efficiencies and improved workflow processes that will be gained. Paper timesheets and printed check stubs will be a thing of the past, replaced with electronic versions of both. My opponent wants to tell you that the treasurer's office shouldn't be beholden or obligated to anyone. I agree. I've spent years building relationships within county government. I've gained the respect of many while maintaining my independence, but working in a unified effort to keep momentum going for a common goal. My opponent wants to talk to you about transparency. We upload our transactions daily onto a searchable web portal called OpenGov. It's available on the website, and you can find my page, and there's the link. She wants to give you a monthly PDF check register. She says she'll be transparent with you, yet, as president of the Conroe ISD School Board, they upload their check register once a year, sometimes as much as 9 months after the fact. She served on the school board for 3 years and made no attempt to increase transparency, yet 60% of your property tax bill is paid to her entity. I take pride in the public servant aspect of my role, lending my voice to the nonprofit community in Montgomery County. I serve on seven boards and work with a host of others. I am strong in my grassroots efforts to build the Republican Party, volunteering on committee, serving on boards of the local Republican Women's Group. And I believe change starts with me, and I even helped found the East Montgomery County Republican Women. Service to the county, service to the community, and service to the party is what I'm about. I serve you. Thank you.
Next, we will be hearing from candidates for Justice of the Peace Precinct 4, Mr. Jason Dunn and Mr. Ronald Willingham. Also in attendance this evening, thank you, Constable Rowdy Hayden, I believe, is here. And earlier I saw retired Commissioner Devin. Always great to see you.
I said over a year ago, when I was going to run for Justice of the Peace Precinct 4, that I was going to be Jason Dunn no matter what. No matter if I won the election or no matter if I lost the election. At the end of the day, I was still going to be Jason Dunn. I'm not a politician. I believe that a person's actions speak much louder than their words. With that, I'm Jason Dunn, and I'm asking for your vote to be the next Justice of the Peace of Precinct 4. I'm a proud third-generation member of this community. My grandfather and grandmother moved here in the 1950s. My dad was raised here. My brothers and I were raised here. My wife was raised in this community. And we've raised our kids in this community. My wife and I have been married for 21 years. Across the street, there's a baseball field. It's named after my brother. I agree with you, it probably should have been named after me. But that's for another day. I have a vested interest in the continued success and growth of my hometown. After high school, I attended college at Samuelson State University, where I received a degree in criminal justice. I've spent the last 20 years working in law enforcement with the Houston Police Department, working in the narcotics division, keeping drugs off the streets, infiltrating drug trafficking organizations, and keeping gang members out of our neighborhoods. I've worked at all levels of the judicial system, from the lowest form, the JP level, magistrate court, to the federal court system. Most of my career has been spent working in district court and federal court. And the reason being because most of the people that I pursued throughout my law enforcement career were felons who were ultimately charged with felony offenses. I didn't just pop up in this community just because and get involved in this community just because I'm running for an election. I've invested in this community and volunteered in this community my entire life. I've served on Little League boards at New Caney, Little League boards in Splendora, and I currently serve as a Splendora ISD board member. I think it's vitally important for people to be involved in their community. I have a vision of a community-focused court which prioritizes serving the public in an impartial and judicious manner, with a special interest in redirecting juvenile offenders. It's important in that lowest level, when those juveniles come there, to have someone who has an understanding of what a real crime is. Look, I've served the public for the last 20 years with a commitment to honesty, integrity, and the highest ethical standards. And that's how I will run the JP Court. I'm 44 years old. I'm not looking for a retirement job. I'm looking to bring my experience and my skills from the big city back home. My opponent has said that he's running to give you a choice, and he's done that. He's giving you a choice, and the choice is clear. There's a reason, folks, that I have the endorsement of Constable Rowdy Hayden, of the Montgomery County District Attorney, of the Montgomery County Sheriff, and of his colleagues, the Montgomery County Law Enforcement Association. I've said it from the outset that I'm the right person at the right time for the right reason. And I hope that you will agree with me. Thank you.
How are you doing tonight? I appreciate the concerned citizens for allowing us to speak tonight to you. My name is Ronald Willingham. I'm running for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 4. So a little bit about me. I've been married to my wife for 42 years, have 2 sons, daughter-in-law, and 3 grandchildren. It's an opportunity of a lifetime to run for this position, I understand. I've spent 23 years here in Montgomery County and East County protecting the citizens of this county every day. I've had the privilege of serving under 2 constables. Constable Hayden has entrusted me, when we started off in his term, to run as a supervisor for his civil division. After our captain left, I was then given the opportunity to take over the writs and the executions of the JP4. I've worked closely with the JP4 office. You know, I've heard that the person that gets this job needs to be close and communicate with the constable's office. Well, I've done that for 23 years. I have been at the constable's office and at the JP4. I bailiffed for 1.5 years for Judge Betts. I filled in his court numerous times. I'll never forget the first time that I had the court, JP. I practiced my speech of all rise over and over to make sure that I got it perfectly right. And I did. The judge walked in, I announced him, and as soon as I did, the next thing I said is, "You may be seated." And at that point, a flush came over me because I knew that was his line. So I looked at the judge and I said, "I'm sorry, Judge, I stole your line." He said, "No problem." So everybody was seated. So again, I've got the experience. Everybody says you need experience for this job. I believe that I have that experience. Working for 20 years plus in civil at the Precinct 4 Constable's office. Over 200 hours of that is spent in civil school. A lot of that is in discussion classes on writs and executions. So I believe that I am qualified to be the JP4. So with that, I would like to close again thanking the citizens of Montgomery County and vote for Ronald Willingham for Justice of Peace. Thank you.
Next, we will hear from candidates for county judge. Judge Craig Doyle and Mr. Mark Keel.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you tonight. My name is Greg Doyle. I'm a fourth-generation resident of Montgomery County, graduate of Conroe High School, put myself through Texas A&M University with a roofing business many years ago. I served for many years as a county commissioner over in Precinct 2, where Commissioner Riley serves today. For the last 3 years, I've served as your county judge. Most of my career in Montgomery County has been focused on roads and mobility, working on projects like the pass-through program that got 1488, 1485, 1314, 1484, and flyovers, 242 done. Worked hard to get a bond issue passed last May when it failed. Sat down with the opposition, worked out a better bond issue, put a press release out to you, the individuals. The citizens of this county voted for a bond issue to get roads built. You know, sometimes other issues are needed to get projects done. I remember a few years ago, Commissioner Reinhardt put an item on the ballot to get a road built to create this new stadium to try to cross the freeway. Sometimes you have to use different funding mechanisms. What we chose at that point was certificates of obligation because we didn't have the funding for that road to partner with Valley Ranch developer and with the school district to build that road so that the stadium can be built. Now that new theater's over there, and there's a tremendous amount of economic development and positive growth for East Montgomery County that's occurring because of those COs that I voted with Commissioner Reinhardt to approve. My opponent has said that he would oppose certificates of obligation. He would have opposed that stadium being there, the development that's occurred over here. I would ask you this, would you rather have a county judge that's going to fight for you or one that's going to oppose you? I have stood with you, even as county commissioner in Precinct 2, working on projects like that. How much improvement has the Grand Parkway made to East Montgomery County? Been very positive, hasn't it? Great deal, absolutely. We're working right now over in Magnolia to try to get 249 constructed, to give the people of West Montgomery County the same opportunities that the people of East Montgomery County has had. My opponent is the only way we can fund that is with a bonded, or a toll road. The Texas has told us that's the only possibility. My opponent is trying to fight every way he can against that toll road so to prevent the people from Magnolia from having the same opportunities that you've seen over here in East Montgomery County with the Grand Parkway. Again, I ask you, would you rather have a county judge that's going to fight with you or oppose you? You know, in a campaign, you'll hear a lot of rhetoric, a lot of talk, a lot of chatter. What you should ask yourself is, do you want rhetoric or do you want results? Because as your county judge, I can tell you this. I've got taxes, we've got the budget. We put 53 new law enforcement positions in place last year. Got our budget by 5.5%. Funded our retirement plan at 89%. As you heard earlier, got a AAA credit rating. Very proud of that. We do all that at a cost to you of about $50 per person per month. We do a good job with the dollars that we ask you to pay in county taxes. We represent you well. And I'm proud to work with Commissioner Riley. I'm proud to work with all of our Commissioners Court. I'm proud to tell you that I have the endorsement of Houston Association of Realtors, 36,000 strong, many of them right here in Montgomery County. I have the endorsement of the Montgomery County Division of the Greater Houston Builders Association. I have the endorsement of the Conroe Firefighters Association. I'm very proud to tell you that I have the endorsement of the Montgomery County Law Enforcement Association, along with your past Sheriff Tommy Gage and Constable Rowdy Hayden. I've worked real hard for not only East Montgomery County, but all of Montgomery County. And I would appreciate your support. I hope that I've earned your support to continue to be your county judge. I've watched this county grow from a small, sleepy little rural community to the thriving, bustling, growing county that we are today. I know what it's taken to get from where we were to where we are. I know what it's going to take to get us to that next level. I'm here tonight to ask you for your vote. I'm here tonight to ask you for your support. I'm here tonight to ask you to allow me to continue to lead as your county judge and move Montgomery County to that next level. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here this evening, all of you. This is awesome to see such great community involvement. My name is Mark Keogh, and I'm the state representative for House District 15. It's 26 years in business. I retired from the business world to go into full-time Christian ministry. At the same time, I had the opportunity, what came before me, was solicited to run for public office, and I did. I'm currently the pastor of the Woodlands Bible Church. There's 3 reasons why I'm running for this office. First is because of property taxes. You realize that over the last 10 years that we hear about how we keep decreasing the rate. The rate keeps getting lower and lower. But we keep writing bigger checks. Over the last 10 years, we've had a decrease in the tax rate, 2 cents, with an increase in property values of 144%. Now, if you take 2 cents plus the 20% homestead exemption that we got this year for the first time, that we should have gotten back in 1989, along with many of the other counties, there were only 12 that didn't get the 20% homestead exemption, and we were one of them. You realize that your property taxes have increased over that 10-year period a net of 133% after the 20% homestead exemption? But that's not the only reason that I'm running. I'm also running because we don't have a county-wide mobility plan. South County has got one. They've done the study and they've put it into place. Sure, we've got lots of roads, we've done lots of construction, but we don't have one where the commissioners have sat down, all of them together, with community involvement and come up with a viable plan that is not planned by developers and engineers, ones that we think are most important and are not motivated by those who are supporting government officials. But there's a third reason that I'm running. This is the one that I hate to keep bringing up. It's painful to bring up because it's embarrassing, it's divisive. But the fact of the matter is this: our county government is in an ethical crisis. Do you realize that over the last 3 years there have been 2 grand jury investigations, there's been an indictment, they've taken down the indictment and turned around and the re-indictment was reinstated last week? That's what we're facing. That causes division, it causes uncertainty, but you know what? And I was looking at the Texas Open Meetings Act, and I come to find out that Montgomery County this year in the 2018 edition handbook is cited the very first one for violation of this act. It is amazing, and what took place in statements on that in the Attorney General of the state of Texas. I don't know about y'all, but that's embarrassing to me. It's embarrassing to our state, or to our county, and it's embarrassing across the state. Now I know we have a AAA bond rating, which by the way, Moody's says about that the reason our AAA rating is because our property appraisals are higher than our national peers. And there are only 10 of us in the state of Texas that have that AAA rating. And do you know that they are the 10 highest taxed counties in the state? Because it's about property values against our ability to borrow. The fact of the matter is we do many things well. There's no question. But in my judgment, I think that it's time that we have leadership that will honor their oath, that they will honor the law, and they will honor the people and listen to the people. Had they listened, we wouldn't be having these indictments right now. My name is Mark Keogh. I ask that you vote for me for county judge. Check us out on Facebook. We'd love to have you friend us and like us. Thank you.
Also, I apologize, Democratic candidate Jay Stewart. He was going to sit there and wait on me to call his name. Please come on forward.
Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Thank you again for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. My name is Jay Stittelberg. I'm an Iraq War veteran. I earned my bachelor's degree and graduated from the United States Naval Academy. I served as a submarine warfare officer in the United States Navy. I hold a master's degree in engineering management from Old Dominion University. And I currently work as a project manager in the oil and gas industry. And I'm happy to be here tonight because I live just 8 minutes down the road in Porter, so I didn't have to travel very far to get here, so I certainly appreciate that. And I am your fiscally conservative Democratic candidate for Montgomery County Judge. I'm working every day to earn your support and your vote so that I can represent you in our county government. And the reason I want to do that is because you deserve a responsible tax rate and a responsible budget that's transparent to you. And you deserve accountability from vendors and contractors that get awarded contracts with this county that spend your hard-earned tax money. And I will work with the commissioners and we will develop a roads project plan. I work as a project manager on my daily job, so we're going to develop a roads project plan that's available to you so you can see what projects are on the schedule, what milestones we're looking at, and where they are in their progress, so you can hold me as your county judge and your commissioner accountable for how your tax money is being spent. And I will also work with the commissioners and we will develop a county strategic plan. That county strategic plan is going to deal with a proactive response to our enormous population growth in this county that deals with public safety and infrastructure and road projects in this county. The plan is going to discuss how we're going to hold special districts and developers accountable, our building codes and plotting codes that are going to benefit you. So if you live in a flood-prone area, we're going to ensure that developers have accountability and responsibility when they build homes. And obviously we want to continue to work with new businesses and bring new businesses to this county. We have a great economy in this county and we can only make it better. We just need some new thinking and somebody who, I'll be honest with you, I did not grow up in this county. I have not lived here my whole life. I moved here from Harris County about a little under 4 years ago. But I have no attachments in this county. I have no attachments to people. I have no attachments to business. The only commitment I will make is that as your county judge, I serve you and no one else. And if you have never had a chance to talk to me, which I'm sure many of you have not, I encourage you to do so. Because I absolutely do not want you to not like me because I'm a Democrat. I want you to not like me because you don't like a policy issue I have. So be brave and come and talk to me, because I think you might be surprised at some of my answers. And I will tell you, this is a partisan race about nonpartisan politics. This is about accountability with your tax dollars and nothing more. And I can tell you that you deserve the same integrity and ethics that made me a successful leader and officer in the United States Navy in your county government. And I'm really happy to be at New Caney High School tonight, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. Last week was a big week for the athletes of the New Caney ISD, and 19 of them signed letters of intent last week. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention one particular candidate, and that's Jordan Cooper. And I want to welcome him and his family to the Naval Academy family. There's nothing more I'd like to see than somebody sign with the United States Naval Academy, because I can tell you, as Maya Angelou said, life is not measured by the number of breaths you take, but by the moments that take your breath away, and his family and himself are in for quite a surprise. My name is Jay Stittleberg. I am running for County Judge of Montgomery County. I hope you'll give me your support and your vote, and I am ready to work for you. Thank you.
My father is here tonight, and he's a lifelong Democrat. The one thing I mess up all night is forgetting to call him Democrat to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for staying with us this evening. We have one last race that we're going to hear from, and that is the county chairman for the Republican Party, Dr. Wally Wilkerson Jr. and Mr. Terrence Boggs.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Wally Wilkerson, and I am currently the Republican County Chairman. I'm a graduate of Texas A&M and the University of Texas Medical School, Southwestern, and I practiced family medicine here in Montgomery County since 1958. I delivered hundreds of babies, and I protected the sanctity of life in every situation. I'm married for over 63 years to the same lady that's put up with me all that time, to be a busy family doctor and a political junkie. But I enjoyed all of it. I served in the U.S. Navy for 2 years as a general medical officer. And the Navy was a wonderful place for me to learn a lot about a lot of people throughout our country. I'm proud to say that I've been county chairman and served you since 1964. I've been a resident of Montgomery County since 1958. And I became a committed Republican in this county in 1962 when Republican wasn't a very popular name. Now, I'm proud that I've served this long, but that's not what I want you to know tonight. It's what you and I and other Republicans have accomplished in those years that I've served. I want you to know that since 1994, there's been no Democrat elected to a district, county, or precinct office in Montgomery County. And since 1968, no candidate for president, a Democrat, has been elected and served as president after winning Montgomery County. And we didn't do this by simply wishing it away. We did it by hard work and cooperation by a lot of people here. Many of you here I know and have known for years. And I know you know me, and you know who I am. And I'm proud to say that we will continue to grow this party. As a matter of fact, we now have 7 Republican women organizations here in Montgomery County. 1 here in East Montgomery County. 1 in every area of the county. We have over 800 Republican women working for the Republican Party in this county. We have an active Young Republicans organization for ages 18 to 40. And just the past few years, we've begun to organize high school Republican clubs. And we now have nearly 400 young Republicans active in this organization. And we have over 7 of these clubs in and around the county. This is a party on the move. And I pledge to you that we will continue to do the things that we've done in the past and to improve on those that haven't worked as well. I ask that you consider this record of accomplishment, that during this period of time, this party has become so strong in Montgomery County that we are now known as one of the most Republican counties in the most Republican state. I ask for your vote and your support on March the 6th. I am Dr. Wally Wilkerson, and I am your county chairman. Thank you.
Okay. My name is Terrence Boggs. I'm glad to be here tonight. It was about a year ago I actually applied to be a school teacher in this district. Unfortunately, it was allowed for. The great whale called Harvey swallowed us up, moved us across over to New Caney, spit us out, and changed my life forever. We lost everything inside that flood and weren't able to even live. In fact, where we're living isn't even habitable to this day, which wasn't far from here. If you can't tell, I'm a school teacher. I currently work in Spring. I was hired over there. I have about a 20-minute drive because I ended up in Conroe. I am a lifetime Republican. In that time, I've served as precinct chair, precinct judge, election judge rather. I've been to state multiple times. And the last time we went there, which kind of brings me to why I'm here to begin with, last time I went there, I ran for SREC against one of the first round. Actually, there were 3 of us running. One of the gentlemen I ran against actually grew up in the Woodlands. First round, I beat them handily, and here's why. The delegates at the state convention, I carried most of Montgomery County, 10 people out of Chambers, where the incumbent came from, all of Harris County, which, by the way, was only a few votes about that far down the road. Most of it was Montgomery County. I carried it handily, only lost that vote by about 20 votes. It's extremely close. Why? Because the delegates there trusted me. They knew who I was. They knew my activity within the Republican Party. And they, as leaders within the party, having gone to state, decided I was the person who should represent them at the state level. Unfortunately, I was running against an incumbent. That's okay. I felt proud of what I accomplished there. Which brings me to where I am. When the great whale called Harvey dumped me in the Conroe, and with a message, I was asked to speak within the first couple of weeks I was there to a group of people about how to build out the precinct and how to build up the party. That night, immediately people came up and asked me, was I willing to run for county chair, for Republican county chair. Within a week, 16 people lined up in one day and signed a petition asking me to be on the ballot immediately to run for this position. I was drafted in by those who knew me well and who knew my position within the party and what my work had been. Let me explain that. For the last several years, I've been training quite literally hundreds of precinct chairs on how to build out the party, how to set up Facebook accounts, how to set up internet accounts, how to vet candidates, how to block walk, how to understand their precincts. I was a trainer of precinct chairs. Me and the committee I was on. I was one of the speakers like I am tonight. I stood in front of 50, literally 50 a month sometimes, training them on how to do what we do. So that's why the precinct chair started coming to me asking me to run for this position. Why? Because this county is changing. We're the fastest growing county literally in the nation. Some of you may not like it. I know I live not far from here. I know how the congestion is getting and things like that, but that's the reality we're in. There are several needs that we have to address quickly. You notice we had a Democrat here tonight and another one didn't show up. There's actually 15 of them on the ballot this time around. True, this is the first time in years, because Dr. Wilkerson kindly pointed out, we haven't had anybody to run and win as a Democrat in years. They don't run as Democrats, they usually run as Republicans, which explains the high taxes, the toll rolls, and the level of corruption which has been inside the newspaper. We have been voting unwittingly people who are a little more liberal than our values and then wondering why we're ending up with results like we are. There's some good people, don't misunderstand. I'm not accusing anyone. But there's no mistaking the fact that Democrats run as Republicans in this county. And that's why he could say, we have not had anybody win as Democrat. No, they run as Republicans. But this year, we have 15 people running openly as Democrats. They think they've got a shot at it. And that that's because the county is changing. What are we not doing that I see immediately we have to do? Number one, we do have 7 Republican women's groups. 2 of them meet at night every other month. If you're a working woman, which many of you are, you have to go at 11 a.m., have lunch and get to meet the women. You come home at 9 and want to be involved in the party, there is no mechanism. There just isn't. I want pachyderm set up. Meetings that actually meet at 6:30. If you're a youngster, under 40, you don't get messages except by text messaging. You know what the party doesn't do? Text messaging or Facebook. Oh, I'm sorry. Dr. Wilkerson just set up a Facebook page this week. That is changing. But certain things have to change more if we want to see the party succeed in a quickly growing county. I want you to be a part of the party. I don't want you to have to attend forums to be weekly involved. I want to set up something for you so you can be involved, especially those who work like I do. Because I'm a school teacher. I know what it's like to have to stay up late. You need something. Anyway, I'm asking for your vote. My name is Terrence Boggs. I can be found at T-Boggs for Chair, both on Facebook and on my webpage.com. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As a reminder, early voting starts January 20th, I believe. February 20th. Hey, right over here in New Canaan, just walk in and walk out. It's super easy. Come early. You don't have to stand in the long lines. Thank you all for coming. Yes. Check us out on Facebook. Like our Facebook. Certain citizens of Montgomery County.